And we're back here on the Friday Vibes Morning Show with yours truly, Jay Chris, here on New Source Radio, New Source Radio app. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tune into the Friday Vibes Morning Show right here with yours truly, Jay Chris, and the real guys, of course, because it's 9 o'clock and y'all know what time it is. It means the real guys. Jay Hussein is here with us to give us his weekend suggestions. And before we get into that, I put the question out there for the folks. I said, what movie as a kid kind of scared? What scary movie scared you as a kid to the point that you didn't want to go to sleep with the lights off or whatever the case may be? Jay, what movie was that for you? We got Jay Hussein from the Real Guys, y'all.
Good morning, New Twist family. What's up, Jay Chris?
What's going on, man? What's going on? Welcome back.
I appreciate y'all, man. I missed y'all last week, but I want to tell you did a tremendous job holding it down. I appreciate you, bro.
I was trying.
Hey, man, listen, back in the day, we grew up with scary movies. Now, if we go to this day, we can't, they might not have been scary. They probably a little more cheesy than that, now, because we just talked about laughing at them and stuff. But back in the day, you had Candyman. You had that whole going to the bathroom factor and saying, Candyman in the mirror and all that.
Candyman 5 times or something like that. Yeah.
Right. You had Freddy, which also had me scared to go to sleep sometimes. We talked about that in the Freddy series and stuff like that. Right. You had Jason back then and Michael Myers, and you had a ton of masked killers, and then once we got to the 90s, it was more about the thriller and the whodunits and the things of that nature. But when I was young, I always I was scared of the stuff that when it was time to go to sleep and time to flip off that light switch. And back in the day, moms ain't play leaving that TV on. No.
I had to sneak the TV on.
Mama come in my room 3 o'clock, that joint was back on because I had to wait till they dozed off. But I would say some of those classics, man, those were the ones that were scary. I'm sure everybody's got their thing, but
I just thought of one, and it's not a scary movie, and it wasn't created to be a scary movie, but it messed me up. And to this day, I'm still messed up by this movie.
What's that?
It was the original Poseidon adventure. The original Poseidon event messed me up. To this day, I have not gotten on a cruise ship. To this day, I've gotten on fishing boats, but I even do not like walking by the ocean when it's dark because I can't see the water because I'm scared a tidal wave is going to come and just wipe everything. That messed me up. But you got weekend suggestions. You letting us know what to watch. The weather's getting better.
Yes.
But today is hot, so we need something to watch today.
Yes. If you guys are looking for something to do and to get out of that sun and you want to go ahead to the movie theater, so it's a few things in. And if you're in, and I hate that we put this stigma on, you got to go to the movies to watch a movie, Jay Chris, in this new technology world with our phones and being in our cars and media systems and stuff like that, you can watch movies anywhere, man. So the first thing I want y'all to check out, and I hope you saw this, Jay Chris, was Untold Malice at the Palace. All right.
Man.
What that was, for people who don't know, was the infamous 2004 incident between the players and the fans at the NBA game at the Detroit Pistons in Michigan. What they did with this was that Netflix does great with their documentaries, man. They have basically the untold story of this, which we all been waiting to hear the exact details. I love how they got Ron Artest, Jermaine O'Neal, and Steven Jackson to really break down how this came about, man. But the best thing about it to me is not because we know what happened that day, but to hear the backstory of the players, to hear the anxiety that Ron Artest was dealing with, to hear his background, to hear Steven Jackson's background. We all see Steven Jackson now in the media a lot, they don't know the background of him. So to hear the background of him, Jermaine O'Neal, I just love that, man. I loved hearing that Jermaine O'Neal, when he got selected from high school to the NBA, how they didn't believe in him. And you kind of see the things that caused these guys to have that tension that took it there that day. It wasn't just that day; it was kind of building up. It's who they were, man.
Right. And that was a rivalry at the time. That was a big rivalry, and that Malice at the Palace kind of messed that rivalry up because guys were suspended for a year, and the two teams were never the same after that.
That is so true, man. It's an infamous story, man, and you guys will love this, man. It's for everybody. Yes, it is a sports themed story, but with the background and the way they, you got Reggie Miller, you got all types of players in there chiming in. I love what they did with
Let
this
me
one. So,
let me ask you a question as a basketball fan, right? Because eras are always different, right? There's no doubt about that. Did that fight in your eyes end the era? I mean, it happened in the early 2000s, but did that end that 90s era of basketball the way how we know it?
I think so, because if you look, we've never had another incident like that.
Right.
You kind of be hard pressed to find a lot of fights at this point in the NBA. You know what I mean? If you think about right before that, you had Chris Childs and Kobe. You had everybody fist fighting when it was time to go down. You know, whenever they show clips from fights, I don't think you can find anything above that. You know, from 2005 on, I don't remember seeing a good fight.
Not to that caliber where actually people was connecting. The only other fight that I can think of was it was the Knicks and somebody, and it was like I can remember Nate Robinson throwing his hands up, and to Carmelo or something like. There was something crazy, but no punches were really thrown at that time, and we know what happened to Nate Robinson last time we saw him fighting.
Yeah. Nate need to stick to hooping, you know. But make sure y'all check this one out, man. It's called Untold Malice at the Palace, and that can be seen on Netflix or, of course, RGTV. All right. The next thing I want y'all to watch out, man, it's called Beckett. All right. This film stars John David Washington. Y'all know who that is, right? We talk about this guy every few weeks, man, and I've been known for bashing him, but I'm really just looking for more out of him. When your daddy is Denzel, you got to be the guy, man. So, you know, John David Washington stars in this one as an American tourist who's vacationing over in Greece. He becomes the target of like a manhunt after this. He gets into this crazy accident with his girlfriend, man. I don't want to give too much of the movie away, but what I will say is that he basically has to reach the embassy to clear his name where they thought he's in the murder of his girlfriend. And if you can imagine being from America and trying to navigate your way through Greece and not knowing who's friend or foe, you know, it's a pretty good movie, man. And what I will say about this is that I definitely did like John David in this movie. I bashed him for the Malcolm and Marie. I've even bashed him for that last one. I forgot the name of it at this point because
turn something. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
I saw that movie was coming out or available to watch, and I was like, and I was like, ooh, John David. I said, no, I'm gonna wait till Jay Hussein gives it the approval to watch, because I don't want to waste my time on this one.
This one, I definitely would say give this one a good watch. I think it's taking him more in his element. It's giving him more of a broad range to act, because with that Malcolm and Marie joint, they put two actors in a room, and you got to be pretty dynamic to bring that for 2 hours or hour and a half. You know, with this one, it's a little bit more open, him running around, a little bit more action and stuff like that. So I do think this one was a good one. I definitely recommend this one. I'm trying to win your wife over too, man. So I want her to check some of these out.
Oh yeah, she definitely takes the suggestions. Now that I called her out, I called her out on the show.
That. Thank you, boo. But yeah, definitely check that one out, man. It's Beckett. It can be seen on Netflix. It came out today. I think this one is pretty good. I think y'all will enjoy it, man. The next thing I want y'all to watch, we speaking of scary movies. Now, this one is more of like a thriller horror, I guess they call it. It's called Aftermath, man. I kind of got a kick out of this one. It's not the best movie, but again, if you like horrors or thrillers, I think you'll be interested. Now, Jay, this type of horror movie this one won't make you scared of people, but this one will make you flip the lights on in your crib or tell Alexa to turn the lights on when you walk through the door, you know, because basically a couple desperate to save their marriage. Look, man, I ain't even gonna read the synopsis. I'm gonna tell y'all straight up what happened. Look, this girl was cheating on her husband, right? Basically, and he found out, and their marriage is about to end. But instead of their marriage ending, they give it a second chance. They find this house for really cheap, and they move into it. The thing about the house and the reason they got it for cheap is because there was a murder in there. Now, I don't know how everybody else feels about buying a house where someone was freshly murdered. We're not talking about a old tale where someone was murdered 30 years ago. We're talking about fresh, current. When you come in, you need to scrub the walls to get the rest of the blood off, okay? That's how fresh this house was. So they gave it a second chance, and they bought this house. And, of course, as things start to go a little bit better in their relationship, they start to discover things are wrong with the house. And I'm going to leave that there. For my thriller and horror fans, I want you guys to check this one out, man. It's called Aftermath, and it's on Netflix or RGTV. All right?
All right.
The next thing I want you guys to watch, and one of my favorite things, if you get an opportunity to go to movies today, is Respect, okay? Respect is the biography the biographical bio of Aretha Franklin, man, played by Jennifer Hudson. And you know, to give you a little bit of backstory on this movie has been a while in the making. At first, Aretha did not approve Miss Hudson to play her in this movie, and I believe after she saw her acting on Dreamgirls, when Jennifer did Dreamgirls, it built a little bit relationship between them. They built a bond, and she was given the blessing to play Aretha in this movie, man, and she killed it. She killed it. Y'all gonna love this joint. It's not. I mean, obviously we know a lot of the story of Aretha from when we know us young OGs, but it gives a lot of backstory on how Aretha became who she was from young up until when we know her, man. And it's got a star-studded cast. You got, of course, Jennifer Hudson, Forrest Whitaker, Marlon Wayans, Mary J. Blige is in this, and a ton of great surrounding cast, man. So I want y'all, if y'all get a chance to go out, you know, cool off from the sun, make sure y'all check out Respect in Theaters today, or of course, relax in your home and watch it on RGTV. All right. And for my last and final movie, man, and for my action guys, man, I actually been waiting for this movie to come out for a couple months. So I'm glad it's finally here because I get tired of watching the same previews of it. It's called Free Guy. All right. And this is starring my man, Ryan Reynolds, man. I love Ryan Reynolds, man. I love what he do. He's definitely a multi-talented actor, man. This movie is basically about a bank teller named Guy who realizes that he himself is just a background character in a free world video game. He doesn't understand that his life isn't real until he's told that his life isn't real. And it's just an action. When I tell you, this is one of them movies that you go to the theater and you can eat your popcorn and it's never a dull moment and it's constantly something going on. And it's just that type of ridiculous, not in a bad way, but ridiculous, everything, all parts moving movie. This is one of those. You will not get up to go to the bathroom. Trust me. You're going to sit there and watch this one. It's definitely action-packed. And it's an awesome movie, man. Make sure you guys check this one out. It's in theaters today, or it can be seen on RGTV, of course, man. That's Free Guy. Free Guy. Ooh, man. That's your top 5 for this week, man.
Those some good ones, man.
Yes,
those some good ones. Good. You know, when you said, and I don't want to take attention away from the one the what you just gave us. Mm-hmm. But when you said I've been waiting for this one, my mind immediately went to the new Wonder Years show, which I know doesn't even come out till September.
Right.
Right. But I can't wait for that, John. But
man, that's awesome. I love, first of all, the Wonder Years was a great show, no matter what color. But to have the dynamic of it being a black family now, man, I literally can't wait for that.
Very interested in seeing how they work that and how they do that. But so you gave us these suggestions, right? And Jay Hussein, y'all, is not just he's not just a movie reviewer or previewer or whatever the case may be. He has opinions on all types of topics, right? He's not just a shut up and dribble type guy. He has opinions on all types of things, right? So he heard us talking about PJ Washington from the Charlotte Hornets and that situation. And if you don't know, if you're just tuning in, I was talking about PJ Washington from the Charlotte Hornets was allegedly ordered to pay $200,000 a month in child support to his ex-girlfriend, Brittany Renner. And it since came out, a video has come out of Brittany Renner saying, you know, if you want to get the bag, which means the money for those that may not know, if you want to get the bag, if you want to get that money, get yourself an athlete because they don't like to wrap it up. And that came to fruition for her. So I have an opinion on this. I'll let you say yours first.
Sure. And
then I'll give mine and we'll just take it from there.
I appreciate it, man. I mean, I'll keep it quick because I don't want to cause a battle between the people who don't see a problem with this and the people that do. What I will say is this. Brittany Renner is 29 years old. She's on her way to being 30 years old. A lot of people don't know that. PJ Washington is 22. He's in his second year of the NBA. Okay. There's a big difference. Brittany's had a little bit of time. She's seasoned. That's a nice way of saying it, right? This is a family show, right?
Yeah.
She's seasoned. All right. Mm-hmm. What should happen is, first of all, let's just talk about Brittany Renner real quick. She has a reputation that she is not quiet about. It's very known fact that she's dated Colin Kaepernick, that she's dated James Harden, that she's dated Lil Uzi Vert, that she's dated Drake. So she's very understanding of the way the game goes. Now you have a young person like PJ Washington, because what I noticed in the comments and from when I talk to other men is there are a lot of older men getting down on PJ Washington. But what I want y'all to be in the mind frame of a 22-year-old with millions of dollars. His contract this year was for $4.2 million. His contract last year when he met her was $3.8 million. So he's a 22-year-old with $3.8 million in the bank, and he meets this girl who's not your average girl. She's a IG model. She's an Instagram model at the top of her game for what she does. All right. So whether that's modeling or being on Instagram, she's at the top of her game, and you see her with all these stars. And I think that the reason we got to give PJ just a little bit of a break is because he's a kid, man. He's a kid who's still understanding what this thing is about. What they should have for the NBA for these young players are mentors. They don't have enough of that. When I was young, you would always see the young guys next to the older players, and you don't see that as much anymore. And I believe that's where PJ went wrong. You know what I mean? If I'm thinking like a young man, what I'm thinking is, damn, look at this fine girl who my peers have dated and haven't been able to bag. Maybe she'll really like me for me. You know, I'm just as good as them. So in a way, you want to be accepted like your peers, but you may not understand that this girl is on a mission. Now, in a small defense of Brittany, maybe it ain't a mission. Maybe my clock is ticking, and maybe, you know what I mean, I thought you was the guy, you know, and maybe he wasn't the guy. But what I can say, just in what we do know, is that, you know, there needs to be a mentorship program for these young guys coming in. They're coming in younger than usual. They're being exposed to money that they never had. When you hear the background story of these athletes, they come from poor neighborhoods, just like all of us. They come from not much. So I think to see a girl like Brittany, who is not your average girl, she's a beautiful young lady who already had some money and had this notoriety and this infamous story of just being that girl. I think she caught that young fish out the water. This day, she was the fisherman and he was the fish, and my man got caught up. And of course, they say that she was signed to an 18-year contract worth $200,000. You know, worth I think it came out to $43 million if you add up the child support over the years. Yeah.
Listen, while you were, and I'm sure the people that are watching can see that I was doing some calculations on my phone. I wasn't like texting anybody. So $200,000 times 12 months is $2,400,000. That's half of his contract of what you were just talking about.
Yes.
But now when you talk about it for 18 years, so let's go. I'm even going to try to I was going to mess up the math on that. But
I think it's 43 million or something like that.
40, yeah, you just gave it to us 43. So he's going to have to play for a minute just to take it. Now, all right. Let me make some people mad here. And you know me, I don't care who I make mad. That's what I do. So am I disappointed in PJ Washington? Slightly, right? Because he's a kid, but he's a grown man. He's a kid to us, but he's a grown man. And you know you got to wrap that up, or you got to pull out, or whatever the case may be. Right? You got to avoid the situation, right? Absolutely. But like you said, maybe he thought she was the one, right? 22 years old, everybody's the one if your nose is open. It just is what it is.
That's a fact.
The fact that she said what she said means nothing, to be completely honest. It means nothing, right? We just now you just kind of know what she's about. Unfortunately for him, it came out too late for him to know it. Right. So I mean, he's on the hook. I think $200,000 is a lot. When people say, you don't know how much it costs to raise a kid. No, I don't. But I'm pretty sure my parents combined with a couple other parents that lived on the block, all combined, didn't make $200,000 a month.
Yeah.
And we made it happen. So, you know, I'm not trying to be in the pockets. I know that's quite a grip. That's, you know, for a year, you're getting $2.5 million for over a year. And I'm sure my parents would have loved to have that over a year to help raise me. I know that much.
It's an expensive lesson learned for him.
Very expensive.
But if you read the comments, Jay, you would see a lot of, I don't even want to say women, I'll just say people. You'll see a lot of people defending Brittany Renner. You see there's a double standard when it comes to, you know, this money thing here. You know, if it was the other way around and he was taking Brittany Renner to court or whatever the case, you see a lot more defense. And that's why I said I don't want to stir the pot, because it's all perspective, man. It's all how you see it from where your standpoint is. But what we all know is that's a bit much. That's a bit much. The only defense I have for him, I agree with you, I'm disappointed too. That's because I'm a 40-year-old man. I understand. If I was 22 and I had this bad young girl treating me how she just treated Drake, that see, Drake to them is what Jay-Z is to us.
Right.
And Uzi and James Harden and Colin Kaepernick, these stars. So what I'm saying is, in some men's mind, when you see someone holding a trophy, you want that trophy as well. And I believe that's what happens. You say, yo, I ain't never had no girl call me Poppy. I ain't never had no bad Instagram model call me Poppy. You know what I mean? Or treat him out. And her being 30 years old, I bet she showed him some stuff he ain't never seen before.
Probably.
And I believe that's what happened to the young fella. It's going to cost him. You know what I mean? But look, man, the blessing is he got a child out of it, man. He ain't going to be the first. I'm sure it's a bunch of Britney Renners who don't have a name. You know what I mean? So he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he got a blessing out of it, and he also got a lesson out of it. So hopefully he learns his lesson, and he governs himself accordingly. Jay Hussein, tell him where they can check you out, man.
Hey, y'all, you can check us out on Instagram at Real Gods. That's REELGODS. All right, shout out to my boy Hippie Heem, man. We will be back in the studio next week, man. I had to pull this guy out the house. You talking about pandemic Heem. That's what we're gonna change his name to on Instagram. All right, but he got to keep them babies safe. I understand.
Absolutely. Shout out Hippie Heem. What up, brother? I know he be checking this out. He always commenting on the 10-7 show too. Make sure you check out the 10-7
show.
Check out the 10-7 show Sunday nights at 7:00 over on our YouTube channel. But Jay Hussein, thank you for being with us, brother. I appreciate it.
Have a great weekend, bro.
All right. Now it's time for us to get back to the music.